Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Shout out to you for tuning in, and a special shout out to everyone engaging over on Twitter. You are appreciated. This video is going to explain the complete timeline for the legal complaints in which writers Sophia Stewart and Thomas Althouse both claim that The Matrix was stolen from their original works, and each brought their dispute to court. These allegations are internet stories that never seem to completely fade away, and I wanted to take the time to go full yellow pill and research all the facts. After reading over 300 pages in court documents, and after reviewing countless hours of content, I can get you caught up to date on all the documented facts here today. So if you are very ambitious, as you should be, and you want to know everything there is to know about the breathtaking Matrix universe, be sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any future yellow pilled content. Apparently, the backstory behind the original script of The Matrix turns out to be a matrix in and of itself. The further down you dig, the stranger things seem to get. So when it comes to the Sophia Stewart case, there is really only one question that matters. Have you read The Third Eye for yourself? Let's start by going back to the very beginning. In 1981, Sophia Stewart wrote a 6-page movie treatment titled The Third Eye, and Stewart claims she submitted the idea to Fox. Stewart also said that the studio showed an interest in her treatment, but stated that she could only submit work through an agent. In 1982, James Cameron submitted his movie treatment for The Terminator. In 1983, The Third Eye registered copyright is confirmed by the U.S. Copyright Office. 1984 is a very important stop on this timeline because the Terminator film was released to movie theaters that year. A science fiction writer by the name of Harlan Ellison invited himself to the premiere because he took notice to not being invited to such a major Hollywood science fiction event. After seeing the Terminator, Ellison immediately threatened to sue James Cameron for plagiarizing his work. Ellison claimed the first minute and a half of the Terminator was a copy of an opening sequence in the Outer Limits episode that Ellison wrote titled Soldier, which aired in 1964. However, the most incriminating piece of evidence was prior to the film's release, when James Cameron himself admitted that he, quote, ripped off a few Outer Limits segments, end quote, when asked where he got the idea from during an interview. Ellison's complaint was not formally filed as a lawsuit, so the settlement was done outside of the courts, though it is widely acknowledged that the settlement was in the neighborhood of $65,000. What is also important here in regards to the case of Sophia Stewart is that she will later also claim the visual dialogue from the same introduction of the Terminator was taken from her work, despite Ellison already making his claim and collecting a settlement. But I don't want to jump too far into the future here, so let's go back to the mid-80s. About 1985-1986, Stewart claims that she saw a science fiction writing contest ad in a magazine, allegedly placed by the Wachowskis searching for a comic book story. Ironically enough, there is a science fiction ad in the discovery of her court documents. Stewart claims that this is the proof of access to her scripts. The problem here is that it doesn't say anything about the Wachowskis, and proof of access is never actually established. But as you can see, it does have the name of L. Ron Hubbard, who is known for being the founder of the Church of Scientology. In 1989, Clive Barker's HELLRAISER series released book number 8, which is the first Wachowski comic book credit found during my research, but if you know of any earlier Wachowski comic book credits, you can let me know in the comment section. In 1991, we have the release of Terminator 2: Judgment Day, a box office success that set a new bar in theatrical special effects with the visual use of the T-1000. In 1993, the third issue of the comic series Ecto-Kid was released. Also in 1993, another writer, Tom Althouse, registered his script, The Immortals, as an extended story treatment and screenplay with the Writers Guild of America East. We know Althouse submitted The Immortals to Warner Brothers because in this case, there is proof of access to the script through registered U.S. mail receipts on or about June 25th, 1993. In 1994, the Matrix treatment was submitted by Warner, and notice that the copyright registration field is totally blank. Another footnote for this timeline from 1994 was the release of Grant Morrison's comic book, The Invisibles. The storyline included implications and scenarios regarding how humans perceive reality. Morrison said elements from the films were adapted from his material, like a rebel group bouncing between both worlds, led by a prophesized rebel messiah. Morrison says he enjoyed the Matrix movies and how the Wachowskis drew inspiration from his source work. Morrison also did not make any legal claims or pursue any legal action. In 1995, the movie Assassins was released, which the Wachowskis wrote originally, but the studio made significant changes to the original script, and the Wachowskis did not approve of the final product. In 1996, the Immortal script copyright with the United States Copyright Office was confirmed. Also in 1996, the movie Bound was released. Many of you may already know that the Bound movie was basically the Wachowskis' directorial studio audition in order for producer Joe Silver to get approval for the Wachowskis to direct The Matrix. And finally, in 1999, The Matrix premieres in theaters worldwide. At this point in the timeline, Sophia Stewart claims that she saw The Matrix the day it came out in movie theaters and knew immediately that her work had been stolen. Stewart claims that it wasn't until the FBI notified her in 2001 that she was made aware her third eye source treatment was used for the Terminator franchise. Now, it is important to notice that none of the documents submitted show any paper trail of when she was given that information from an agent, but there is a document of the July 2001 complaint where she alleged an FBI agent took evidence from her but never followed up. Stewart was unable to provide the spelling of said agent's name or any of his contact information according to this report. 2003 is another big year for this timeline. The Matrix Reloaded, The Animatrix, Matrix Revolutions, the Enter the Matrix video game, and Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines were all released that year. And in 2003, Sophia Stewart also filed a complaint for damages. In 2004, that case was dismissed in favor of the defendants, with an option for Stewart to file an amended complaint. This is the case where it is reported that Sophia Stewart lost because she failed to show up for preliminary hearings. However, she did not attend the hearing because her lawyers failed to notify her, which is considered malpractice. In 2005, The Matrix Online launched. In 2007, Sophia Stewart filed the amended complaint, including her previous group of lawyers suing them for malpractice. She also filed another copyright infringement complaint, this time claiming that ideas from her novel were stolen to make the Transformers movie. In 2008, the Sarah Connor Chronicles airs its first episode. In 2009, Terminator Salvation is released in theaters worldwide. And in September of 2009, Sophia Stewart sends a demand letter, which I believe is what she means when she claims that she put liens on everybody during interviews. Though it should be noted that it does not mention the previous Transformers claims. In 2010, Sophia Stewart registered works titled Matrix 4 Attractions and Matrix 4 Evolution. In 2011, Sophia Stewart submitted an affidavit to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for the Terminator. In 2013, writer Tom Althouse files a complaint for copyright infringement against Warner Brothers. And also in 2013, Sophia Stewart registered a work titled Terminator 5 Hologram Clones. In 2014, Sophia Stewart was awarded $316,000 in damages for her malpractice claims against her lawyers, and this is often the ruling she points to in interviews where she states that she won. But the only thing she actually won that day was the damages for her lawyer's previous malpractice in 2004 and the right to continue to pursue her case. Absolutely no damages for her claims against the Matrix and Terminator franchises were awarded by any judge. As you can see, the copyright ruling says the exact opposite. Also in 2014, Tom Althouse lost his case as it was ruled in favor of the defendants. In 2015, Terminator Genisys is released in movie theaters. In 2018, a random person claimed he wrote The Matrix on Stewart's own GoFundMe page. There's a YouTube video somewhere where someone claims that a brother submitted a comic book to Marvel UK back in the 90s, and that was allegedly the source material used. And I've seen others claim that The Matrix was stolen from Plato and Socrates. Let's be honest, The Matrix is a lot of things. $1 billion is a lot of money, and had these individuals had enough evidence to take their complaints to a courtroom, we would have some facts to discuss here. In 2019, the defendants filed a motion against Stewart to dismiss the civil case, and on August 20th, 2019, the motion was granted in favor of the defendants, or in other words, the case was terminated. The following day, The Matrix 4 was officially announced. So that brings you up to current speed on the Matrix case history and timeline. And I did notice a few strange things in common between these writers off the record allegations that go under the radar. The first being that both Sophia Stewart and Tom Althouse wrote their own versions of the Second Coming of Christ, and both of these writers claim to have submitted their projects to different religious groups. In the case of Sophia Stewart, you have the L. Ron Hubbard ad, and in the case of Tom Althouse, he claims to have submitted his work while he was in an organization associated with the CBN. They both claim to have gotten free and helpful information about their cases from an anonymous source. In the case of Sophia Stewart, you have the alleged agent who told her that the Terminator movies were a part of her case. In the case of Tom Althouse, Tom claims that he got an anonymous phone call from someone who worked on The Matrix, stating that an image in the film included some of Tom's personal information used in the interrogation scene from the first Matrix. Both Sophia Stewart and Tom Althouse alleged that their legal teams mishandled their cases because they claim that the lawyers in both of these judgments were later revealed to be clicked in with the studios and purposely committed malpractice. At the end of the day, there are two sides to every story. The truth is often found square in the middle. The problem here is there seems to be at least three sides to this story, if not more. And each party involved, at the very least, is able to raise serious doubts about the other. The evidence here, or lack thereof, suggests there are still layers of truth to be revealed within this tale of Hollyweird chop shop script allegations. As far as the official records are concerned though, the defendants have officially gotten all of the charges in regard to these copyright claims dismissed. So that's how the story goes, and both cases are cleared and closed. I might do a more in-depth follow-up video on this case study in the future about all of the off-the-record allegations and to talk a bit about what I think really happened here in between the details. As always, I will be on the lookout for any new updates and developments. But for now, I just wanted to put the facts out there because too often when this story is discussed, I see very little research involved, especially with respect to these court documents. It absolutely should be noted that the mainstream media does not cover this story at all. I also have not seen anyone reporting the most recent case dismissal that came just the day before the official Matrix Movie 4 announcement. So check out the timestamps and know where you heard it first, because I may have to start calling people out soon. Be sure to like and share this video so others can find their way over to this yellow-pilled content. And once we get a few more witnesses down here at the bottom of the rabbit hole to join us, I will be able to go deeper into some of the more anticipated topics within the Matrix universe. And remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.